Hi guys, and hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about doing it scared. I was so scared to come on here and talk about this just because I felt like an imposter for such a long time. I've kind of like held off on doing the things that God has asked me to do, and so today we're gonna talk about all that, and I'm gonna finally be vulnerable on here for once, because I feel like as much as I talk on YouTube, I don't really talk on YouTube. Like, I don't really talk to you guys for real about things that are like happening in real time. But I'm just a very private person in general. But like on here, it just makes it seem like I don't talk about myself, and I just talk about like things that are wider than just what needs to be said. So I don't know whether or not you've seen my face before. If you haven't, my name is Jovi. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Today I wanted to talk about anxieties. I don't know where you're listening to this from, but I honestly feel like anxieties is such a big problem. It's something that is so common, like the fear to do the things that you really want to do, the fear to feel like you are qualified to do the things that God has put in your heart for you to accomplish. And I feel like a lot of times, at least personally, before I finally like stepped out of my shell and finally told myself like, hey, you can really do these things, all the things that you want to see others do, you can do it yourself as well. And I didn't realize that because I put so much pressure on other people to do certain things, that it was actually God in a way calling me to do those things. Because it was just like, okay, but why are you waiting for the next person to do this thing when literally you could be doing it yourself, okay, and helping other people? Because if you wait on somebody else to do the things that you want to do in this life, you're gonna be waiting forever. Honestly, lately I've been feeling a bit down. I've been feeling as though I'm an imposter. And not even just the feeling itself of being an imposter or imposter syndrome alone. It was more so like I've been feeling like I'm not qualified to do the things that God has called me to do. And obviously that looks different for everyone, but personally it was kind of like I didn't feel like I was qualified to lead a Bible study. I didn't feel like I was qualified to talk about the things that God has put on my heart. I didn't feel like I was qualified to pick up the camera. I didn't feel like I was qualified to go volunteer. I didn't feel like I was qualified to do all these things that He has told me to do, or to lay my hands on somebody and pray for them. I just didn't feel qualified. And this happens to me seasonally where I feel like I'm not qualified. And obviously, yeah, it's kind of one of those things, because I went into the church buildings a few days ago when there wasn't service. And just because I wanted to feel, regrounded in the things that He has called me to do, I really wanted to feel Him in a space where I knew for sure He would be. I was literally chasing God. Like, I'm over here like, sir, I know you're everywhere, at all times, at all places, but I really need to be where you are, like right now. Like, I would need to feel you everywhere, okay? And it's like, obviously normally I would feel Him everywhere, but it was kind of like it's a different thing when you get to go into the church and you just get to be you and God one-on-one with nobody else there, like no noise. You just get to like spit and draw tears, and it was beautiful. One of the church staff, she came up to me and she kind of asked me why, if I was okay and all this stuff. Basically, she came up to me and she was kind of like asking me how's life and everything, obviously trying to get me to open up. And eventually I told her, I was like, yeah, God is calling me to certain things and I just feel unqualified. And she just looked at me and she said, but that means you're qualified. Like, God doesn't call people that He knows are qualified. He calls people that people are gonna be so surprised to see them doing what God has called them to do, because then they can relate to that person. Like when God turned Saul into Paul, like literally God used Paul to write a majority of the Bible. When Paul used to be Saul, and God used Paul, which was formerly Saul, to write a majority of the Bible. For those of you who don't know who Saul, aka Paul, is, he was a soldier that basically killed a lot of Christians, and God changed his life and called him to Him, and then used him to write a majority of the Bible. It's crazy because it's like God used somebody that people wouldn't have expected to change the lives of so many other people. And it's kind of like, in that same sense, I kind of sat back and I was just like, okay, but God, what are you trying to show me here? Because why are you calling me to do these things when you know all of my sins, when you know everything that I have done and everything that I do? And it's kind of like, why me when you know that there are so many other great Christians that could go ahead and do this thing for you without shame, without feeling like they're not worthy, or without feeling unqualified? Because every single time that I pick up the camera and I talk about God, I feel so unqualified, and yet he still uses me. And I don't know whose life he's using me to change, so I can never like sit here and be like, oh God, no, not today, not today. Like, I literally, in that sense, I don't have a choice. Okay, I don't have a choice, because God gives us a choice, obviously, but I would rather sacrifice my feeling as though I'm unqualified in order to continue pushing the grace of God and continue helping change people and continue helping save somebody's life, because you never know who you're saving by following your purpose. Literally, it could be you that saves so many people's lives, and yet you're too afraid to do it because you feel like you're not qualified to do those certain things. But it's like, if God is saying that you're qualified, then obviously you're overqualified. If he is the one that's telling you to go ahead and start this thing, then obviously he sees something in you that you don't see in yourself. And so many times I've asked God, let me see myself the way that you see me, so that I can better lead the people that you're calling me to lead, so that I can better follow you, so that I can be a better disciple. And a lot of times I feel like I don't realize the things that he has put in my life, or that he has put in my heart to be able to accomplish. And so after I ask him to show me the way that he sees me, and then when I see that, then I'm like, okay, I can actually do this, because I know that so many people are going to be healed from this. And it's not that easy, obviously. But for a long time, I felt unqualified. For a long time, I tried to run away from the things that he has called me to do, child, by focusing on so many other things, by getting so many jobs. Like, I was literally over here planning on working 4 jobs last semester and all this stuff, just because I was kind of like, okay, but God, why are you calling me to do all these things? And I just wanted to calm his voice. Like, I just didn't want to hear it. I was just like, I'm running away. I'm running away, okay? Like, literally, I was chasing a success that was gonna come to me so easily if I just followed what he had told me to do in the first place. And because I didn't, it didn't work out in the ways that it was supposed to, okay? And I feel like a lot of times it's like the anxieties get so loud that we forget to chase the things that we want to achieve in this life. And obviously, yeah, we all know that faith without works is dead. Like, literally, you can't pray for God to give you something and then not work towards getting the thing. That's not how it works. And for a long time, I thought that's how it works, until I realized that it wasn't, because I was like over here like, yeah, I'm gonna get this thing by the end of this year. And it didn't come. And guess why? Because I was not working towards the thing. Like, I was literally just over here like, yeah, whenever God's ready for me, he'll send it to me and all this other stuff. And it's just kind of like, okay, but God wants to send it to you without you. He wants to send it to you, but obviously he wants to know that you're also working towards it. He wants to send it to you, but he wants to know that you're serious about this thing. And he won't be able to know that you're serious about it if you're over here not listening. I feel like for not too much. I feel like for a lot of my life, I found my value in so many different things, until finally, like, when I became grounded in God, I realized that my value was in him. And it made me realize, like, all those things could leave me, all those things could go away, and at the end of the day, it's like my value would still be in God. Do you get? It was kind of like, I realized for a lot of time that I was finding myself in the things that didn't really matter. A lot of it was in the way that I looked, and eventually it was kind of like one of those things where I had to realize, like, as much as all that stuff does not matter, okay, as much as that stuff may happen to matter in this life, it doesn't matter altogether. And eventually it's like, when all that stuff kind of settled down, I had to realize that my value and my only value is in God. And so with that, it was kind of like, then he started calling me into doing different things and all this other stuff, and it was kind of like, okay, but God, my value is in you, so now what do I gain from this? It was kind of like okay, I know that my value is in you, but I also know that you made the entire world. Meaning there are so many other people that their value is in you. Meaning that there are so many other people that are more qualified for this than I am. Why would you call me to something when you know that there are so many other people that you could pick that are more qualified in this than I am? And I feel like just that simple, like, realization of why not you. Literally, I was watching an interview with Sierra and Russell Wilson, And he was talking about how when he was growing up, his parents would tell him like, why not you? And that's what really drilled into his mind on why he's so successful. But the fact that they would always tell him like, why not you? And I think they actually had a book. They actually have a book called Why Not You. It was something like that, something like that. If my story is getting mixed up, just go and Google it, shy. It's really not that deep. All right. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. Bye. 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 Hi, it's me again. In the same position too. Can you imagine? I hope you liked this video, and if you did, check out some more videos of us speaking about maybe things that are similar to this or maybe slightly different. All right, and if you enjoy those, let me know. Bye.